All right. So what we're going to tackle now is we're going to start working with understanding a little bit about filters. And I've opened up the image exercise 4, where we did our composite. And so I've got each one of these elements on a separate layer, right? And I can click and I can turn those elements on and off, and I can shuffle them. And I went through the process of doing a composite by taking these different elements and pasting them into a new canvas. So we're going to take this canvas, we're going to duplicate it. Image, duplicate. And it's going to give us a default name of the image, copy, click OK. And then for this exercise, I'm going to flatten this image. So this is a strategy I deploy a lot of times, is that I don't flatten the original image. I make a duplicate and flatten that. And then if I need to, I can save this separately. And I always try to keep the original image unflattened. I like to keep those layers intact. Now, the reason why I'm flattening this is so that it's more easily understandable what the filters do. So I'm going to go, I can click the tab here and go down and choose flatten image, or I can go up to layer and I can go all the way down and choose flatten image. It's the same command. All right, so now I've flattened the image. We're going to go up under filter. All right. So if you click on filter, you'll see the first entry says last filter. So what happens is after you've used a filter, you can use that filter again by clicking here. So that confuses people. You'll see the same filter listed in 2 places sometimes. The reason why is because it's going to reapply that filter if you click in this first slot. The next is smart filters. So smart filters is a subset of smart objects, and smart objects retain the original components of the object when they're made smart, and also allow me to make derivatives of that object. We're not going to worry about smart filters or smart objects just yet. We'll get to smart objects and smart filters towards the middle end of the class. Next is neural filters. So this is a new thing that Photoshop has just included, and I'm going to save that subset out as a special for another session. Let's go down to filter gallery. Now, what's interesting about filter gallery is a lot of the other filters down here, blur, blur gallery, distort, noise, pixelate, etc., are also in the filter gallery. So I can apply them from 2 places. I can apply them here and I can apply them up here. In the filter gallery, they're all in here together. So I would suggest looking in the filter gallery first. There are some filters that for some reason or another that are down here that didn't make into the filter gallery, but most of them are listed in that filter gallery. I'm going to click and launch the filter gallery. Now, first thing to understand is that when I'm applying a filter, I can apply it to a selection, I can apply it to a layer, or I can apply it to a whole image. In this case, we're applying it to the whole image, okay? And the reason why is because I want the effect of the filter to be very obvious to you, right? So here's our filter gallery. And first thing is I can zoom in and out with Control plus and Control minus by hitting the little plus and minus buttons down the lower right-hand corner. And then I have over here my folders with my images. So I'm going to close or collapse that. I'm going to start up at the top and I'm going to go through each. Now, what I'm going to do is go through each folder, but I'm not going to go through all the filters because that would just take too long. My suggestion is that sometimes when you're bored and you're just sitting in front of Photoshop, open them up and play with them. But what you'll see is that each one of these books or folders of images apply a different kind of painterly edge or stroke to the image. So this first set is artistic. And when I click on one of these, it applies it to the image. And then under each circumstance, you'll see a bunch of options. Now, what's happened here is that when you first open it up, it applies a filter. And then after that, one is always applied when you open it. And so over here, if you look, you'll see that because I clicked on colored pencil, I have 2 filters currently being applied. So you can stack these on top of each other. Right now, I don't want to do that just yet, so I'm going to delete one. I'm going to click on poster edges, and I can hit the visibility icon and turn that off. But instead, I'm going to throw it in the trash. I'm going to click on poster edges, and I'm going to click on the trash can and get rid of it. So now I'm just looking at one filter. And then in each circumstance, there will be options that you can exercise. Like for this one, it's pencil width, stroke pressure, and paper brightness. Let's look at another one. Let's look at palette knife. Let's look at rough pastel. So it kind of looks like a pastel painting. Underpainting, sponge, poster edges. All right, so let's say that I like this effect. What I can do at this stage of the game is click OK, and it will be applied to the image. Now, what's really interesting about this is if I go under edit, I have the option of undoing the last option, which is the filter gallery. But there's also another option I want to bring to your attention, which is called fade, whatever you happen to last apply. Fade filter gallery in this case. I'm going to click that. And so what this does is this allows me to take the application, whatever it is I've just used, and fade it. It's usually, it only works with like a filter or mostly like filters. So if I grab this, I can actually parse that application. I can draw back. Remember opacity, I'm taking that top layer and I'm making it less or more opaque. And then I can also apply this through a blending mode. Right, we just looked at blending modes. So I can start combining these things together, right? Filters and blending modes, right? And creating something interesting. Now, this option is only available immediately after you apply the filter. If you go back later and look for fade, it's going to be gone. It has to be done immediately after you apply that edit. I'm going to click cancel. I'm going to go to edit, and I'm going to choose undo photo, undo filter gallery. So I'm going to take that off. I'm going to go back to filter, and what you'll see is that filter gallery is listed here. So that's if I wanted to apply the same filter again. So just be aware of that. That means I want to apply the same filter again. We're going to go back down to filter gallery. And so you get the idea with what the artistic filter gallery folder does. Let's collapse that folder and let's open up brush strokes. So these do accident edges, angled strokes, sumi, sprayed strokes. I'm going to collapse that one, open up distort. I have diffuse glow. I have glass. I have ocean ripple. Remember that in each circumstance, after I apply it, I can come in and I can modify by adjusting the individual parameters for the application. Let's look at sketch. I have bas relief, Conte crayon, reticulation, stamp. Let's close that one. Let's go to stylize. There's only one in stylize. Glowing edges, and then under texture, craquelure, grain, mosaic tiles, texture. Now, you can apply multiple filters at the same time. So let's go up to sketch and let's apply bas relief, and then let's go to artistic and apply film grain. So I want to apply two. Let's click the make new effect layer button, and then I'll go back and I'll apply, we're looking at sketch, I'll apply bas relief. So now I've applied bas relief and film grain to the same picture, right? And so let's use something else instead of one of the sketches. Let's use distort, and then for bas relief, let's use underpainting. So as you can see here, I can apply multiple filters and I can stack them on top of each other, okay? And then I can modify them. So I can actually stack the filters on top of each other in addition to applying one at a time. I can add in as many filters as I like. I think too many start to get a little grubby. I'm going to click OK. And so I've applied those filters, and I can go up to edit, go to Fade Filter Gallery, and I can peel that back a little bit, right? And so what I'm doing here is I'm learning how to modify and control my image with a filter. Remember that anytime you make an application of something in Photoshop, you can apply it to the whole image, to a layer, to a selection, right? Any of those options are available to me. Okay, in this case, I'm applying it to the whole image so that you can see the effects, right? And so what we did here was we went through the filter gallery. I gave you kind of an idea of how each of the filters work, and then how to apply a filter by itself, how to fade the filter gallery, and how to stack filters on top of each other. All right. So I'm going to come back and work on some filters a little bit more, but let's stop here.